Hello, it's Rose. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm the creative guide here at Wild Rose Bohemian. I am still in the middle of working with the Secret Garden lap book that I have been creating the past month. And today, I'm really in the middle right now of working with the journal, and I do want to say a couple of things about it really quick because this video is for you for several reasons. One, if you're working with the kid, I'll give you a little bit of tips and tricks. Two, if you liked the circles video, I have a couple more quick circle things, not long tutorial items. And then I want to show you one of my favorite pieces of ephemera that I love to make for my journal, and that is something that you would design around something that's a showpiece, something that's like one of your favorite items, one of your favorite images of the kit. And so with no further ado, I just want to show you some of the things that have happened if you're following along on the Secret Garden Aveline House. So I made this folio, and I made this folio in the, let's see, part 3 of my folio series. It has a little tuck there, and this is a waterfall that has an opening. I probably will find some images here that I'll want to put on my waterfall, but just showing you that I made that in one of the videos. So if you want a cute folio to go in your journal, there's that. This has a big tag here, and I'm having a lot of fun working with this page. I just wanted to show you that it has a lot of the hinges and the door handles, and then the little labels for the doors. So that's in here. It just opens up like that. Spot here. It's just a really simple flip, but this one is made in the like I said, is it part 3 of the folio series. I make this particular folio, and I decided to just include it inside of my journal. That's one thing that's happening. We made these nosegay paper clips, and that was made in the circle video. Let's see. Here's another one of the nosegay paper clips made in the circle video. The circle video, I didn't show this, but it's another fun thing you can do with the circles, which is make it a tuck spot for your, like a writing spot here, and you can still, we'll see, I probably will add a few more little things to tuck in here on this side, but it's nice because it makes it a double place to place a journaling page. Let's see. These are some fun notebooks. I made these, and in the circle video also. These are fun. Carol Tinson also has a video on her site that shows you how to make these. I just filled the little pockets with these envelopes. This tag was made in the notebook video, so I made that goes with the Secret Garden kit. So I also made a couple of these other smaller notebooks in that notebook video that goes with my Secret Garden journal. So there's that video that has some stuff in it. This paper clip is from the video with the circles, and that brings me to what I'd like to show you today. This is the main event of today's video. I think I've seen this closure somewhere before. I don't watch a lot of other crafters videos, but I'm sure that I am not the original person that came up with the closure idea, but I did want to show you these pockets. These are just the circular pockets here, so I'll show how to do those and how to construct this little folio in the video in just shortly here. So if you know who did the original one with something like that, let me know, but this is how you would pick an image that you kind of want to showcase to create this little folio. And let's see here, I think, yep, these are more of those pockets for another tuck spot. I think that might be where we're at. Okay, so a couple other quick things I want to show you with the circles. So the circles can also be tabs, and they can be tab tops to like tags, for example. They could go on the top as a tag top, and they can also, so this book, because of the way that it's structured, I don't want a lot to pour over the edge here because it'll prevent the closing of it. But I might want a couple of places where I might want to add a dangle or a charm. So I'm actually going to do that here so that I have a spot to do that. And I may do a couple more with the circles. The circles that are my favorite ones are probably the ones that I will do that with, creating a tab on the top. And you just do that by cutting the circle in half. And I've kind of inked up my edges too, so I'll put that in place, and then I'll add a grommet so that I can add a charm or something, a dangle that dangles off. So that's one other thing you can do with the circles. Another thing that you can do with the circles is, let's see, so I didn't put a ton of pages in this book. So I'm going to make some photo corners, and I'm just going to be folding the circles in half like this, and then just cut in a corner. Maybe this one too. So I'm going to do this where I might want to remove the photo for some reason. Maybe I want to write on the back of it. I'm just going to seal up the edge here, and the way that I'm going to do that is by just folding a tiny little edge. You could score it if it makes it a little easier for you to, you can see there's a tiny little edge. And then I'm actually going to cut one side of the edge off. And I'm going to use a little tab to glue this shut. And I'm doing it this way because if I don't do it that way, then my photo corner is not snug up against the photo. So I'm just going to trim it. Ink it up. On like that. So I put them together, and then what I do is organize my page how I'd like my page to look, and Then I'll glue down the back side of the photo corner. So here I'm just doing another one. You could put the photo corner on all four if you want. So I just kind of put like that, and I think that one or this one, that one. Okay, so I think I'm going to do it right about like that, and I'm just going to slide this one under here. And to create the page, I'll just add glue to my photo corners. Probably end up adding a sentiment or maybe fussy cut. It's a cute way to make a page with some of the photographs. Okay, so that's one other thing you can do. And so now the photographs are removable, but you need to let your photo corners dry before you try to move them. Okay, so one other thing that I've got to show you is I made this little flip, and I'll probably put it I think I'm probably going to put it right here. What I've done is I've used this 4x4, and I've cut the one edge off that has a top, which is this piece here. And I've just cut 2 strips and trimmed them. And then I think I may do it differently. Let's do it more like, let's hide it a little more. I don't love this part. I'm going to definitely need to cover that up more than I'm going to have to cover this up, but I'm still going to just... The way I was going to do it, you can easily cover it up with some lace on the edge. It's not a big deal. Okay, and so in order to make this tiered pocket, I've folded this in half, and I'm not going to go through step by step, but I have folded it in half, and then I've cut here, 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 and here, and notched it and sealed it up. So now what I need to do is stuff it. So I've also added these little guys to the front as if it was kind of like a filing cabinet. That was my idea. You could make them different sizes or shapes, and I'm also just going to put a flower here to act a little bit like a closure, and I'll stuff it off camera. What I kind of wanted you to see is that I'm probably close to the end of my videos. Not quite. There may be one more video and then a flip through with the Aveline House journal. I'm not going to show you every step-by-step thing that I do because I like to let you find some things on your own. Carol Tinson has a ton of videos on her site that go with the Rock Your Journal that use these printables if you're interested in those, so you might visit that there. And what I'm going to do next is just shift gears and teach you how to make this guy. See you soon. Okay, let's get started. I've picked an image that I would like for the top, and what I'm going to do is basically show you what you can do when you have something that you want to create as the very top, the showpiece of your item here. I'm just going to use it as a guide. You can mark it with a pen if you like, or, you know, kind of eyeball it here. That's what I'm doing, is eyeballing it. And I'm just going to cut it so that it has just a little bit of an even width here, and it frames it slightly. Okay, and then what I want to do is also be able to have this folded in half. So I'm going to trim this piece so it's the true dimension here. And I'm just wanting to make sure that directionally things matched up. That's why I did it this way, because my paper, it was going horizontally. So what I'm going to want to do then also is kind of use this as a guide, and I'm using it approximately to fold it over and create, before I press it down, the same kind of a border on that edge. Just aligning my edges before I press down with my bone folder. Just to kind of double check. And then at this point, what I can do also is just any excess you have, I'm leaving about, it's a little bit less than an inch. It's about 3/4 of an inch that I've left here. Okay. What I'm going to do is also at this point, I'm going to cut the center here out, where I can pick it up and kind of know where that is. And I don't need to cut it any wider than, so here are some options for something that would, I like this. It's got a little, oh no, it's got fringe in it. There's a couple other choices, maybe this one. And this one looks cute, just the one that's from the garden. So what you're gonna do is just know that you're gonna want to leave enough space where you want it to lie on here that it can pop through. So I'm just marking that with my scissors here. You can use scissors, or you could use your paper cutter. And I'm cutting just a little bit more than just a straight slit. In this one, I'm cutting, you can see. I'm not wanting to draw attention to it, but I am wanting to draw attention to my edges. So that's all framed in. And because I like this to maybe even look like two separate edges or two separate pictures rather than one, I'm going to fold right here and here. This is just particular to this image. But it's up to you if you use a double image like that. I'm just going to ink those so that it looks, the surface looks the way I'd like. And I'm also going to ink around these edges. And now I'm just going to glue this down, kind of avoiding the center, but I'm going to actually make sure that I add quite a bit of glue around here because that will be the interactive part of where things move. And the edges are super important because that's where things might pull up. Of course, nice to have it all over it, but a lot of this will be held in place just fine with the glue. Sometimes less is more. Just gonna kind of push that down with my bone folder. And then again here, just echo the same little slit. So now you'll need a piece that is just a little bit shy here of, explain this, just a little bit shy, just a tiny little bit smaller, okay? And I'm gonna folded this in half to get the center, and I'm just going to, right now, I'm gonna cut this. Just go like this. Okay, so I've got my two pieces here. They're essentially this size cut in half. What I'm going to do is ink around the edges here, and I've got two separate little, these are scrap pieces that are going to end up being my little tab things that help me to make it open and close. I've also punched out the circles that are the same size as my the image that I like to be on the front. They're the same, it's the same silhouette image, and I'll show you more on that a little bit later in the video, but I have punched those out so that you can see, and just kind of paying attention to what the edges look like, because it will be more difficult once it's laid in place for me to add the ink. And ink is always optional, okay? It's always optional. Get this here while we're at it too, okay? And how much you like is really personal too. I just kind of like to define my edges and not really make them like overwhelmingly old. It just kind of helps to add a little pop, or if there's places where it's been, see how this is just a little bit just fine. Okay, so we've got those done here. Like that. These ones are going to be not seen, so it doesn't matter what happens with those, but what we'll do is we'll add glue along, hopefully. Right along. I think I need another glue bottle for this one. This one's a little more. And I'm just having the fold kind of fold over so that this is flush. The edge is flush because I'm going to fold this over. And if your paper that you were cutting out had more size than what mine did, you could actually just extend the width if you wanted to. Mine didn't, based on the size of what I had, so just glue it on like that and press it in with a bone folder. I'm going to do the same thing with this one here too. Add glue. This one comes out a little faster than I'd like. Let's see. And if you've done a poor job like me of cutting it a little bit longer, make sure your edges are trimmed the same. Mostly wanting to make sure that they line up on the top and the bottom because they were cut from the same image. Okay. These two places here, and that I'm still okay with my fold. Okay. So now I'm going to just use this as a way of measuring where that's going to go. I'm going to place this as much as I can in the center. Okay. I'm just gluing down the bottom part. I'm going to mirror the same thing on this side. This one I can add a little more glue in the beginning, so just like, right. See anywhere I missed gluing. Okay, so this piece here, what I'm going to do, did I choose that one? No, I ended up liking that one. That one, this one. We'll use this one. And this one, what I'm going to want to do is just fold it in half not going to ink the center because I do not want to draw attention to the center. I'm just going to cut it in half right here, right down the center, and glue those either edge here. I want to get these two line up when I glue it together. So I'm trying to make this look like it is not two pieces when I glue it together, so that when it shows up on this other side here, I think what's happening here. So now I'm going to use some of these, just show you. So I had to trim the center just a little bit, but that's what it'll look like. And if I were to do it again, these things here I might put on this inside, because I am will be covering more of this, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. So I'm going to use some of these. So I could use these, or I could use these to create pockets, right? So depending on what my taste is, if I wanted to have these blend, I'm going to actually use some of these, and I'm just going to create a diagonal pocket by first trimming the white here. I want my pocket offset here. So measuring that the distance from the corner to the cut is the same on either side here. Okay, and then I have these two pockets like this. So I have one that is the opposite, right? So I've got one that's going to be like this. What I'm going to want is the opposite here. So I'm going to flip this over so that I get a mirror of it that matches. And now I have two sets of mirrored pockets. I think you design the pockets however you want. If you have pockets from a kit that you're working with, those will work. There's no must. The main part of it that I think is fun is the closure and the way that it makes a folio from with a little closure. So the things that you design in the inside are really they're your choice. I'll put this one over here. Oops. And then I'm also going to use these over here on this side here. And still along the way, I'm going to make sure that everything still folds back in on itself. Okay, so I could have put it on this side too, right? Do something a little bit different for variety here, but you see how those fit. So this could have been a flip down and a flip up if I wanted. I'm going to make 2 pockets here that go here and here. I'm just going to be doing that by making sure that these are going to be the right. It's a little bit of a trim. Oops. I had put glue on the wrong side and it attached along here. We'll see what I do with it. Yeah, again, these need to be trimmed to the same width, so I'm just going to trim them just a little bit. And then I'm going to give them a notch. Since I'm using that circle punch, I'm just going to go ahead and emanate the circle, but I want them to be kind of in opposite sides here, so that's the way I can get it the same depth. Okay, and I'm going to eat these up. Place them how I want, and I'm going to glue them together first so that I align the edges carefully first. So if I wanted to seal up the back of this pocket, I could, depending on what I'm wanting to place inside of the pocket. I don't want to do that here, but you could seal it up if you wanted. I actually think this needs to come down more because I'm not going to have that much room to tuck stuff in. Probably even more like this. Yeah, that gives a little bit more room to tuck things in. So now that your pockets are one piece, you can go ahead and glue them in place. Came thicker than I realized it would, given the layers I made of pockets here, 2 layers here, and then stuffing, 3 layers here of pockets and stuffing, another, fussy cuts layers. So it got a lot thicker than I actually anticipated. So it needs a little bit stronger closure. I'm not gonna ruin the whole thing about it, but what I am gonna do right now is add some cardboard right here. Using the same punch, I cut some circles, and we'll just add those right now. Hopefully that will create enough strength. I'm going to place it on the side that folds over, and if not, we may have to add a little bit of Velcro. I just didn't realize they were going to get so see now if that made a difference. And it's just a little bit off center too. Oh, there you go. See if it's stronger. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of difference in keeping it closed, so I'll probably add a little bit of Velcro on either side here to keep those closed. Hello, it's Rose. I've got a quick video for you today. I'll have this one and probably another one in a day or two. Just a couple of smaller ephemera pieces that go with the secret garden, but could be created with any ephemera. So this here is a cute little folio that has, I opted for Velcro because it got a little bit thicker than I intended, but and so I think I probably need to adjust my hole now that I've added the Velcro, but it's got a couple of tuck spots here and some tuck spots here, tuck spot here and here, and then it opens, and I've got tuck spot and these here. This also here could be a flip down writing spot if you want, and if that sounds like something fun, please stay tuned and I hope you join me. Thank you. I'm Rose. Thank you so much for joining me today. I did add a little bit of Velcro, and so just want to show you what we did today. And again, this could be made with any papers. I think you can see that after watching the video. I want to show you how I want to put this in my journal. So if you do not want to decorate the back, you could decorate the back, and I actually think this would be a really fun little item on its own, but you can put it in your journal. Let's find a place, maybe right here. And if you put it in your journal, yeah, this one, what you can just do is make it a pocket. So depending on the area that you're going to want to stuff, and so if I'm putting this on the lower portion of my page, then I'm probably going to want to stuff and cover this area. So that's why I've left this part open. I'm just going to place it into my journal like this. And to let it dry. So if you're kind of catching an eye on what I've been doing over here with the lap book, these pieces are not put together exactly how I would like, so it's not completely complete. But now you see, now I have a place to tuck stuff in there. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. I'm Rose.
Morning settles on the windowsill. The sparrow sings out